Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here again. It is Tuesday, and today we are only going to have one video for the Speed Duel Tryouts, which I think is actually the name I'm going to go forward with because it just makes more sense, because these cards are essentially trying out in order to be a part of Speed Duel. And guys, at home, you can absolutely start playtesting any of this stuff that you choose. So consider it more of like a for fun, homebrewed, casual format. And all we've really got to do is check some cards off the list. Now, one of the cards was kind of not proposed, but I did receive an email about this, or a message, about whether or not the Ojama Trio or Duo traps were currently in Speed Duel. And I felt like, since there's two cards there, and it could take about 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes to do this, that I might as well talk about both of them, make one really good video for you, and just discuss them both in one shot today. So, Ojama Duo and Ojama Trio are cards that spawn tokens to the opponent's side of the field. They will always be level 2 light beast, 0 by 1,000. They will be summoned in defense mode. They cannot be tributed for tribute summons, and each time one is destroyed, the controller will take 300 damage. Now, this is where the similarities stop. You see, Trio obviously plays 3. Duo will play 2. This makes sense. But Duo actually has an additional effect. During either player's turn except the turn this is sent to the graveyard, you may banish this from the graveyard to special summon 2 Ojama monsters with different names from the deck. Now, there is a reason that these are not in Speed Duel. And I'm going to tell you right now that they probably should stay out of Speed Duel. First and foremost, we need to talk about the Ojama Trio. So, essentially, what you're saying is, this card could be a card that can block all 3 of your opponent's main monster zones, stopping them from playing tributes and everything else. If this was mainstay Yu-Gi-Oh!, if there was even just one more zone on the field, I might agree that this would be usable. Or if it said special summon up to 3, you know, like as a non-mandatory thing, like, or no, as a mandatory summon up to 3. So like if your opponent already had one monster, then instead of summoning all 3, it would just summon 2. This I could see, but no. No, it is an absolute. It's either summon 3 or you don't activate it. And they can't be used for tribute summons. So between those two things, it becomes a very unfair and essentially will work like the Ojama King. And because of the Ojama King, like the only reason he's in here is because, number one, you gotta fuse 3 Ojamas. 3 very specific Ojamas, by the way. Green, yellow, and black, the ones featured here on the trio. Or you have to use the trap card, Waking the Dragon, in order to special summon out of your extra deck. But you gotta check the wording. Choose up to 3 of the opponent's unused monster zones, and those cannot be used. So it's the difference between a partial selective up to number wording and a very forcible, and then they can't be tributed. And unless you're somehow playing like a ritual deck, which is going to be very odd, because again, even though there are rituals in Speed Duel right now, I think Cyber Angels are probably the only ones that are super relevant. Although we can make arguments for the other ones. The Ojama King is more fair than the Ojama Trio, which is why we have the King and not the Trio. That said, we need to take a look at the Ojama Duo. So again, now we're not collapsing all 3, so this is more fair. But the problem I have with this one then becomes the secondary effect. You get to banish this, special summoning 2 cards with different names from your deck. There are any 2 Ojamas. There's 5 different names in Speed Duel that could be in there. My biggest issue is if we didn't have the Ojama Knight. And I know you're like, but you're summoning them to the opponent's side of the field. I get it. It's okay. I'm getting there. But what we're saying here is this duo slags 2 opponent zones. Ojama Knight slags up to 2 unused zones, which again makes him fair, especially since he's generically 2 Ojama monsters. Tokens count as monsters, which means super polymerization can absolutely be used, since this is, again, a Speed Duel legit card. You can tell because I've already got it in my white sleeves, but, I mean, it does say Speed Duel right there. And this did just come out of the newest GX3 box, the Duelists of Shadow. See, I can get it right on occasion. And what this means is, for this trap, we can slag our opponent's zones, stunt their play. So, and I always hate to go back to this, but I always use Dragon Caller as an example. I see Lord of D, I see Dragon Caller's skill, I respond with Ojama Duo, and you're going to be like, you can't respond to that. Well, maybe you can't, but you could do it to the summon then. You're still blocking the zones. It's fine, whatever. Point being, on my next turn, I'm going to be able to Super Poly, generate my own Ojama Knight, and then place my Ojama Knight in defense mode as a brick, while still collapsing those two zones, making it very awkward and unable for you to continue any of your plays, essentially soft-locking you with just a handful of cards. And again, these were all found, well, not the Ojama Duo, but these are all found within the box sets. This wasn't cards from back in the packs where you had to get lucky to pull them. This is when Konami gave it to us straight up. They said, like, let's be smart about it. You guys want to play it. We don't need to bang you for all the money that you've got. We'll leave your wallet alone a little bit. But what we'll do is, if you want to collect all the foil variants, then we're going to go ahead and take that and take those racks. Because essentially every time you buy one of these boxes, you're given a set of every card in the set. So you buy 3, you're good, you're golden. And then you have some secret rares to play around with. But I don't think with Super Poly and Ojama Knight in the game right now, I don't think the Ojama Duo can come out. If the Duo did come out, I would suspect it to hit a ban list. I'm thinking it would have to be like one of the one-ofs. Just because it is definitely oppressive as far as the way the game would play. But I'll tell you what, guys. Instead of me just talking about it, why don't you guys go grab your own copies, build a couple of decks, get together, do some playtest rounds, and let us know in the comments section how it works out for your group. We found it to be a little too heavy-handed for the Ojama player, and again, it just tends to over-centralize the meta. So again, one of the things I feel would have to happen is this would be an A, so we'll have to kick the trio forever, and the duo would be like, we need that to be like at 1. So I don't think we could just let the duo run around all crazy. Like, it is the secondary effect. It is the primary effect. It is the fact that it can be tagged in with other cards. It is insanely good and would definitely tear up the meta. So that's my analysis on it, guys. You let me know what you guys think. If you like this type of video, like, comment, subscribe, let us know. If you guys want to help us buy sleeves and cards in the future, we got the Buy Me a Coffee link down in the description. Again, don't do that if you don't have a little bit extra to do that. It's super optional, but most importantly, guys, I want you guys to go out and have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll have 2 separate videos. They should be a little bit shorter, and we'll discuss another couple of cards. So, until then, see ya.